Astro, do the robot dance. A month ago, I welcomed a new addition to my household. Now, along with my husband, my 2 kids, 1 dog, 1 cat, 1 bunny rabbit, and 7 outdoor chickens, I've been living with an Astro, Amazon's first home robot. And it's designed to be a helpful assistant for your everyday life. It's essentially an autonomous Alexa on some souped up wheels, and when it goes on sale, it will cost $1,450. But right now, you can ask to road test the robot in your own home for the bargain price of $1,000. As a very busy mum, wife, and full-time reviewer at The Verge, this robot has become that extra pair of eyes I've always wanted to help keep track of my brood. But if only it could be an extra pair of hands as well. Astro is a small robot, just under 1.5 feet, and it roams around your house largely at will, tilting its face, which is a 10-inch Echo Show-style touchscreen, up and down disarmingly and winking or smiling at you with its digital eyes, which are 2 glowing circles that resemble the Alexa ring on an Echo smart speaker. 2 large white wheels make up most of its robot body, along with a small cargo area that, yes, can carry a beer. Like a regular Echo speaker, you can ask Astro to play music through its 2 speakers, set timers, stream an episode of Buffy, lock the front door, or call your mum for a video chat using a built-in camera. What's different is that it can do all of these things on the move. As I'm roaming around the house, picking up shoes, making dinner, feeding the dog, Astro could come with me, keeping me constantly entertained, well, in most rooms of the house. Dismissive Alexa on wheels comments aside, this is an actual robot, not a quasi-home robot like most robot vacuums are. And unlike most Alexa speakers, Astro does a lot of its data processing in its own little brain rather than using the cloud. This helps it be a lot snappier and a smidge more private. Astro is packed with navigation and obstacle sensors that feed its visual, simultaneous localization and mapping and obstacle avoidance systems, which in English means that after it's mapped your home, it can mosey around easily without backing into chairs, tables, or walls, or falling downstairs. And it can seriously move. It's way faster than Robot Vac, and while its top speed is only 1 meter per second, that feels really fast in your living room. It also never once got stuck, unlike every robot vacuum I have ever tested, ever. And while a robot vacuum is the closest comparison I have to Astro, it uses similar mapping and navigation technology, and I've spent a lot of time with robot vacuums, Astro is much, much smarter. First off, it doesn't bang into my feet all the time. Instead, it's able to follow me around without getting in my way. It rarely gets stuck, besides that one time it came face to face with my daughter's stand-up bass and wisely sat motionless next to the $5,000 instrument until I came and rescued it. It also maintains a respectable distance from dogs, backpacks, and any other stuff that happens to be lying on the floor in its path, and just reroutes. When it's got nothing to do, it goes and finds a spot to hang out, which used to be right in between my stove and fridge, and while it supposedly learns where you don't want it to be, it does appear to be something of a slow learner. When no one is around, it takes itself off to its charger to chill. All of this autonomous movement was actually the creepiest part of having Astro in the house. Its big glowing eyes would just suddenly appear over the couch, or I'd hear rumbling as it rolled over the carpet onto the hardwood floor. It does take some getting used to having a robot free-ranging in your home. So, what's the point of Astro? That was the main question I had during my 4 weeks living with Amazon's bot. While I enjoyed my entertainment moving around with me, I live in a 3-story house and this robot can't do stairs. A pair of decent headphones or Apple AirPlay is a better/cheaper solution. My kids enjoyed a few of the robot games, and my husband loved the idea of Astro delivering him a beer, but the beer fridge is outside where Astro can't go, and this robot has no hands. The dog and cat, Gus and Smokey, who were both deeply suspicious about Astro's existence, did warm up a bit once it started throwing them treats from the Furbo pet camera we attached to Astro's USB-C charging port. But Furbo works perfectly fine when it's not sitting in a $1,000 robot. Astro definitely has more personality than Alexa, which is not hard, but it's no Jibo. Its facial expressions are limited, and it rarely does more than just widen its eyes, which really feels like a missed opportunity. I also didn't like that mostly it was Alexa that answered when we spoke to Astro.
Astro, show my Ring doorbell camera.
Okay.
Astro itself has a very limited range and no voice beyond a small series of bleeps and bloops. When you talk to it, 80% of the time Alexa responds and does just normal Alexa stuff that you can do with a $100 smart display.
A few things share the name front door doorbell. Which one did you want?
The things Astro does better than Alexa are limited, but they do exist. When you set a timer or a reminder, it will come and find you to deliver it to you. And after we taught it to recognize every member of our household, it was somewhat useful in tracking them down, as long as they were on the right floor. But here is where Astro was most useful to me, as a smart home camera. Not so much from a security perspective, although that's a use case, but really as a second pair of eyes to keep track of my kids, the pets, and the home. If I hear the telltale creak of the kitchen snack cabinet opening before dinner, while I'm on a Zoom call in my office, I can just open the Astro smartphone app and send the robot to peer over my daughter's shoulder with its camera that pops out of the top, and that can disrupt her ambition to eat 5 spoonfuls of Nutella. While I'm waiting in the school car line to drop my daughter off, I can send Astro to the bottom of the stairs and blare its siren at my son who still hasn't got out of bed. If I'm out of the house and my kids are home alone, Astro can go on patrol and alert me if it sees any unfamiliar teenage faces. It will also chase them around, which is mildly entertaining. If the family is out, I can send Astro to hang out with Gus and play him some music, maybe toss a treat or two. A lot of these things can be done with existing smart home cameras or smart speakers, but because Astro can move, it replaces all of them and means I don't need to have 8 different cameras in my home, which is not something I have ever wanted. But there are always those times when you want to check in on something and that one camera you set up just doesn't quite show you what you need to see. Astro makes it easy to see everywhere on one floor without having multiple cameras. But Astro is not the home robot of my Rosie the Robot dreams. Despite the obvious association, after all, Astro is the name of the Jetsons' dog. For a start, it doesn't clean your house. Although if it were also a vacuum, it would get stuck a lot more often. But mainly because it really doesn't do anything beyond being a companion of sorts and a very good mobile smart home camera. If either of those features appeals to you, you'll enjoy Astro. But if you were hoping for a robot with actual robot utility, wait until they figure out how to add some arms or legs. Then Astro would be an entirely different experience. I will say though, despite being somewhat dispensable, when I pack Astro up to ship it back to that Amazon warehouse in the sky, I will feel a tinge of sadness. But then I'll remember there are other things I'd rather spend $1,000 on. Thanks so much for watching my first video for The Verge. The thing about Astro is it's very much a solution in search of a problem. So I would love to know what you think you might use Astro for in your home. Leave us some ideas in the comments. I'd love to hear them.